this. It's never a dull moment with live trainings, ever a dull moment. And I'll share one more funny, from this kind of thing. So this will make you relax a little bit if you're somebody that's new to doing live things and you get nervous about this. Robin Openshaw, the green smoothie girl, actually, and I've told this story once before, was doing a podcast, like a live podcast interview. And the guy that she was interviewing did not have his, he was not dressed. And he walked up to the camera, and thank the Lord that everything kind of stopped from the waist up, but you got a nice view of his big old naked belly and his chest and everything. So yeah, caution to the wind, always make sure your camera is turned off or covered before you actually get started and that everything is in line. So I'm going to show you guys, also want to say one thing that is kind of a security thing as well. So I'm going to slide this little knob across hold on a minute. So I've got this cover so you can kind of see I've covered my camera, right? Just reaching up, covering my camera. It's a little sticky thing. It's like this big, and it's adhesive, and it has a slide on it, and it covers my camera. Anytime I am not doing lives or I am not recording, I cover my camera. Now, I've heard some scary crap about what people actually are seeing and able to see through, and I've seen some videos too. So I believe that this can actually happen, that people can see what you're doing when you are not even recording, or you're not live, or you're not out in the cyber world, okay, through your cameras. So just try to maybe be careful, shut your computer down, cover your cameras, and don't have them open when you're living your life unless you're working, okay? These are real things. This is like Big Brother stuff, but it is happening. Okay, so I am in a different room. I'm moving, as most of you know, to Chattanooga at the end of May, and have a lot of things going on. So you're gonna see me rotating through places here and there. But today we're actually in my original office with my tree picture. And this is kind of where I hope to stay because I'm really comfortable here. But I'm going to go over these topics that I posted in the thread, and I've got them pulled up on my dual monitor. And another comment, helpful comment, I hope, for those of you who aren't aware, but dual monitors can save your butt. It can save your time. And if you don't know what a dual monitor is, I've talked about this in my student class, but hold on. Hold. See that? Okay, you guys can see that. Joan, I know you were on when I trained about this one time, right? So that's a dual monitor. And what that is a lifesaver. So when I'm talking to you, the things I want to talk to you about, they're over here on this side monitor. So I don't have to go between windows and things like that. You can have as many tabs and windows open as you want over here and still be working over here. It makes life so much more efficient. And these things are not expensive. I think I paid $125 for I have 3 of them. And I think that's what I paid, like $125 for it. You got to get an adapter if you have a Mac, but oh my gosh, you guys, it's a lifesaver. So if you don't have one, if you want to become more efficient, a dual monitor can be a great addition to your home office for hardly anything. All right, so with that said, I'm going to start off with Kim's comment here, which got quite a few replies, but I still want to speak to it. In the Health Coach Mentorship and Mastery group, I had put a thing, please post your topics below that you wish to be discussed in a live training with me. Anything goes. So if you want to revisit the questions while I'm speaking through them, or later, that's cool. They're in the group. So the question was about, we learned about labs. What about knowing what to look for when clients share tests with us? For example, like GI maps, organic acid tests, hair analysis, maybe some educational information and training around this. Okay, so here's where I land on this. First of all, I've done all those tests. I'm a lab junkie. I would like, if someone said, hey, we're going to do a full body MRI, even though it's radiation, I'd be like, ooh, I want to go in. I want to see, I want to see labs. I want to see what's going on in the body. I want to see blood. Like, I get excited when I get a portal message that my labs are back. I'm like, woohoo, I get a cup of coffee. And then I sit down and read them and interpret them and make decisions on what to change for my own health based on them. I have years of experience looking at people's labs and talking to them about them. But I also am on the other side of the fence here and thinking that I don't want to order GI maps and organic acids tests and hair analysis for people and interpret them. I don't want to be the person that has to learn all that for somebody else. I sat down and learned most of this stuff for myself, and I was exhausted of even looking at it, to be honest with you. I went through the training videos. I taught myself how to look at them just enough to be dangerous to myself. But I'm certainly not going to get myself trained to read a GI map, an organic acid or hair analysis to advise a client. And the reason why, this is personal because we have a lot of health coaches out there, they've done this training. I've hired them to order the tests for me. and here and there, maybe look at it with me, but the analyzation of a test, is that a word? Analyzing of a test, I leave for myself, and I guide my clients by saying, yes, a GI map is absolutely one of the best tools that you can get. I can help hook you up with someone to purchase it, but I'm going to tell you that I think your training and your education on what your map means needs to come from somebody that really knows what they're doing with this test. And again, no offense, because there are coaches out there that they got this, like they know this sometimes better than some practitioners, but it is the rare health coach that I would ever trust to guide me on any of them. Okay. Now, with that said, I'm not knocking health coaches because I am one, but there are just some things, you guys, we're not meant to be doing. And, if you want to spend your time and your money and really invest on getting trained on one of these labs so that you can help your clients, get trained by a doctor or a practitioner that has an affiliation with the company that went to train with the company, okay? So an example of that might be like Genova Diagnostics is one of the lab testing people, or doctors' data. If I were gonna have a doctor look at my lab, and I've had that done, I go to my Mindshare people, I get my doctors out there to help me with that stuff. We trade and we barter and we do stuff like that, or they give me a discount. I get my labs ordered at the cheapest place possible, and then I go to them and I pay them to interpret them for me because I know they've been trained by the people that run the company. Does that make sense to you guys? So they have been either in the clinic, they have either sat down across from the people that created the test, they know it in and out. I'm not going to spend $500 on a lab and get it read by a $60 health coach. You see what I mean? And I'm not, please don't think I'm dogging anybody here. I'm not. But we're talking about a lot of money people are putting in here. And these are not just a simple blood test you're getting a finger prick for and checking your glucose. These are in-depth things that if we do or say the wrong thing, or we even say, well, oh, you've got H. pylori, a good suggestion might be this. And that client really believes that we have the answers, and they take the wrong thing, things can go really wrong here, okay? So an example might be, I was diagnosed with H. pylori, I don't know, 2016, I don't remember. There's a training on it. I went through the whole thing of how I treated it and went through all of that. And you know what? When I looked up all this information about H. pylori and I started to understand it, I did my homework. But only one person that I really hired to help me with it knew that, taking something like bismuth could be a perfect addition to treating, or to what I was doing to treat it, to protect my stomach lining. And I believe, honestly, that's one of the reasons why I was successful in treating it the first round with antibiotics and natural approaches, was because she told me how important it was to add that in. All the other people I asked had no idea about that, okay? So speaking to that, I just can say this. If you're curious about the trainings, you want to learn about the labs, I can get people to come in and train you guys on GI maps and organic acid and hair analysis and teach you what it is and why it's important. But I'm not going to get somebody in here to train you on how to actually read it. I think that's something I want you to outsource on your own to make sure that you're getting everything that you deserve for the money you're paying for your training. Does that make sense, guys? I see 6 of you, so it's a nod or it's a hell no, tell me more. Okay, thank you. Okay, so with that said, I think it is important to know that these tests can be important for your clients. So I will put these on the list to see if people can come in and talk to you about why, so that you can suggest them to your clients, but I'm not going to get somebody to train you on them. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. The other thing is you can go out and look at some of this stuff, and you can Google it. You can say, okay, this person looks like they are having some neurotransmitter issues. They're craving this. They're grouchy about this. They want wine every night. They feel like their dopamine is low, whatever. If that is a feeling you have and you're like, organic acid test would be a great way to get a look into that neurotransmitter system in their body, make the suggestion to them. I think you can look into organic acid testing and get some serious answers here. Here's a resource for you. I want you to read about it. And then if you're ready to take the lab or get the lab, there's a hair hanging in my face. I'm sorry, it's driving me crazy. If you're ready to do the lab, let me find somebody for you. But first, get yourself educated. Step 1, education, right? Preparation, order the test. Action, take the test. Remember, the education, preparation, and action process is what I teach. It's a 3-month relationship. That goes with anything you're doing. So if someone needs to get that organic acid test, get them educated on it. If they say, absolutely, I want that lab. Okay, great, let's get prepared. Let me find somebody that can do that for you. and let's get it, let's get the someone who can read it for you. And then when you're ready to take action on the steps to fix the problems that you find in there, then we'll work on that together. Does that make sense, you guys? You're handing all this hard stuff over to somebody that's skilled enough to assist them, and that's reducing the liability on you. And it's a big fat relief because you don't have to spend the money or the time to learn about the organic acid test. You got to know just enough to make a good suggestion or recommendation. But you don't need to know about all the stuff that's on those tests. And if you've never had one, you don't want to know. It's a lot of information. We need to remember that. And we're going to get into the business building conversation here in a minute. We are here to be health coaches filling in the gaps and the spaces around what the experts are doing with the client. Client over here or here, a practitioner over here. We're in the middle here, okay? We're filling holes and gaps of the things that we're skilled to do that are in our scope of profession. We're not here to do all the stuff that these people are doing. We can't take the action. We shouldn't be prescribing and diagnosing, all right? Okay, with that said, Kate shared a lot of great manuals to learn more about this stuff. There's also 2 books that I shared that me and Tracy Harrison both really enjoy and like, and I shared those too. And I will get, well, you can look at the thread for the ones that Kate shared. And thank you, Kate, if you're on. Great share and great information. And anytime, you guys, you want to share stuff that you think other people in this group need, share it. So Great Plains Lab Workshop is how she took a training. It says she learned how, Regina actually said she learned how to read the lab reports. It was a great class. They put it throughout the year in different locations and give you a free test with consultation. That's great. Good. Learn that for yourself. But again, I'm sticking to my guns here that we need to depend on somebody else to do the hard stuff of working with the client on that. Okay. I'm just scrolling down. Yes, a manual laboratory and diagnostic tests, etc. All right. But here's the other thing I want to say too. Let's not ever really underestimate how valuable blood can really be. And I think this is another thing I should probably just do an entire training about, period, is we're getting so far away from the simple stuff of blood testing and jumping into all of these expensive, hard to acquire, complicated labs before we're even going with simple blood. So for example, let me just say this. Say a guy comes to you let's use a woman, for example, because it's a better example. Woman comes to you and she's got low sex drive, and maybe she's got a little bit more facial hair than normal, and she's just kind of feeling like, man, I'm feeling just kind of aggressive and assertive. For me, the first thing that pops into head is testosterone, high testosterone, extra facial hair, aggression, grouchy, whatever. Low sex drive can be caused. So even if you say, well, isn't it usually low testosterone that causes that? Sometimes high testosterone with low SHBG can cause this symptom, okay? I would be like, you know what? You can get a good view of testosterone levels by doing a free testosterone blood test. The difference between total testosterone and free testosterone is we want to know what's floating in the blood. This is not a lab training. It's just me running through the thoughts that are in my head. But we can do a blood test for that. You can do a SHBG test. You can do a free testosterone test, and you can say, oh, okay, looks like you've got some high testosterone. Well, I've also had some really painful periods and I've gained some weight. Oh, that screams PCOS to me. We can actually do very inexpensive blood work and some easy research to find out what's going on with someone. We don't have to do a Dutch test to see what testosterone is. Dutch test, $400 or $500. Hire someone to interpret it, $200 to $300. From what I'm seeing, some people are charging $500. That's a freaking crime. Sorry. But a testosterone test, $39 at your local any lab test anywhere, right? You see a high testosterone level, then you can even say, I really think you should talk to your OBGYN about this. This can be can be, not is, or you can be associated with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, which can cause weight gain. So all the exercising you're doing and all the changes with your food aren't going to really make a big difference until we get a handle on that. So simple, right? Instead of saying, here's your $400 Dutch test, let's look at your testosterone. We're saying, here's what I suggest, $39 testosterone test. We need to remember that blood can show us a lot, but then on the other hand, it can be only a snapshot, a screenshot in time. And that's where your estradiol, estriol, estrogen, all of those, progesterone, that's a screenshot, right? Like a Polaroid, so to speak. The other things like DHEA and free testosterone, those are more, you can tell what's really going on. All right, and I know some of you are like, how do you know that? Experience. You work with people with things, you learn things. It's learn as you go with this. The other thing I want to say this too, so taking a step down, I did a training or a blog or something. I don't remember what I did with it, but I remember talking to you guys about the basic stuff people can have at home. Glucometers, pulse oximeter. I always say that wrong. Blood pressure cuff, thermometers. Those are my 4 tools at home. So if someone says, you know, I don't know, I've been waking up and just feeling shaky. I don't feel that great. I don't know what's happening. I wouldn't be like, okay, you know, absolutely run off to the doctor. I would say, you know, I'd absolutely check this out with your doctor. But one thing you might consider doing is getting a glucometer for $25 at home and testing your fasting blood sugar. You might be having something called reactive hypoglycemia, blah, 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 blah. $25 tool, have at home, someone that can monitor their stuff. So we have 3 tiers of opportunity here that aren't going to financially strap and kill somebody emotionally, physically, or financially. We have the things we can use at home to get a general idea of what's happening. We have the next step up, which is blood, if it's possible, to get us, you know, an idea of what's happening there. Then we take it further with a more complicated test. As health coaches, I'm seeing way too many people thinking that we need to leap into all the things that Kim mentioned here. And I know Kim knows the steps of this. She knows blood and all that. She's just making suggestions about these. But, you know, with somebody that might have a mouthful of amalgams, I'm not going to say you should get a hair analysis test. You might have mercury toxicity. I'm going to be like, dang, your mouth is shiny. Let's think about what we might be able to look into to see what could be happening with mercury here. You know, we've got to stop skipping the obvious here and really start with the basic stuff. So does that make sense? Am I like, okay, because I know that we want to show what we know. I know we want to use our education, everything we've learned, but we don't want it to be at the expense of the people that we're trying to help here. And I really want to be, you know, I always say good steward of someone's time, good steward of their money. Whenever I think about you guys helping you or mentoring you, I think, how can I help them in the least, again, financially, emotionally, and physically stressful way possible? How can I give you what you need without telling you have to go spend $1,000 to learn it? So we need to be doing that with our clients too. How can we be that person that honors our job and our business, of course, and ourselves, but also remembers that we've been put into this person's lives to take care of them in a way that feels good to them and doesn't make things worse. All right. So let's remember that while we're working with people. That's why the 7 essentials are the foundation. Start with the basics and then go up from there. Not starting up here to share all our knowledge because we're excited about helping someone. Start down here where they are, meet them where they want to be, which is probably where you are with your health, right? Okay. And any questions you guys have, put in Q&A, put in the chat, whatever. I'll be checking it. I cannot see, I'm not streaming into Facebook right now. So this recording will actually go out. I'll share it with you guys in the group. All right. So let me see here. Let's go scroll down. The other thing here, next question. Regina says, how would you, would like to know how to help clients with shingles and how to prevent shingles without vaccine. Oh gosh, this has been one of those things, Regina. Because my mom and dad both are like, shingles vaccine, woo! I'm like, no, oh, no. Just like with the flu shot, you know, well, we're 72 and 75. I'm like, okay. So, you know, you got to pick your battles with that. First of all, someone comes to you and says they want to get the vaccine and they're dead set on it. They believe in it and they've got all the facts. It's their decision. What you can do, however, and let me pull this up here real quick. The University of Health Daily News is what I've got pulled up. Let's talk about what shingles is first before we speak to it. So shingles, officially known as herpes zoster, is an infection of a nerve and the area of skin supplied by the nerve. It's caused by the varicella zoster virus, a virus in the herpes family, also causes chickenpox. All right, so basically it's like a fever blister on your skin is kind of what it looks like. It's like kind of like down below, people who have that herpes, it's a fever blister on the, okay. And so here's the thing. It's a fever blister on the skin, but it's being produced by an infection of the nerve, okay? So let's keep scrolling here. So after a person has chickenpox, some virus particles remain inactive in the nerve roots next to the spinal cord. Aging and weakening of the immune system due to stress or illness can trigger the virus to multiply again, reactivate, and then it travels along the nerve to the skin and causes these outbreaks. Okay, I am a person, I get fever blisters. Anybody here get fever blisters? You guys get them? Okay, thank you, Mom and Dad, for that, passing that down to me. Or, I don't know, some cute boy I kissed in 6th grade. I don't know. Pretty sure it came from my mom because she gets them too. But they're very contagious, okay? They're very contagious. We keep our mouths away from other areas of people, all areas, to get a little personal here. because we don't want to spread that anywhere on somebody, right? Even when I had him when I was little, I was like, I'm dying to kiss you to my son. And I would kiss his head or somewhere he couldn't touch, and it transferred to his mouth because they're bad. I had it so bad one time that it turned into impetigo, which spread all the way across my face. You guys ever have that happen? Horrible. So you walk around like this for like 3 weeks because then it scars your face. Awful. Anyway, I have been under so much crazy stress for the last couple of months. I've had 3 outbreaks in less than a month. I haven't had a fever blister in 10 years, you guys. I mean, long time. Boom, 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 popped up on my lip. I'm like, are you kidding? I get rid of one, another one, and I get rid of another one. Okay, so lysine, of course, is one of the first things that I have on board, and I load myself with lysine. It's an antiviral. It has been actually pretty good at keeping things kind of not from going crazy. I don't have a fever blister right now, and I'm going to knock on everything I own. Hold on, that's not really wood. That's fake wood. Okay, but the other thing that you can do is any kind of antiviral. So we're talking about loricidin. We're talking about cat's claw. We're talking about anything that can ward off viruses. So I don't know exactly which ones go after shingles. You can do a Google search at shingles natural antivirals. I wouldn't absolutely go taking all of them at one time. Lysine would be my first line of defense. But on the other hand of that, the immune system has to be strong, right? I know that my immune system has been screaming at me like, you know, we need more of this and we need more of that. Unfortunately, sometimes we can't stop our lives. And no matter how many saunas you do and coffee enemas and meditations and all that, your immune system knows that you're under a struggle, okay? So I do agree with doing meditation. I do agree with working on the immune system 100%, absolutely. But preventatively, I'm an antiviral freak. So what I also want to say about that is this. Sometimes it's not enough, okay? So there are people who, if you're prone to having them on your mouth, you might be prone to getting shingles later in your life. I don't know. But there is an antiviral, and it is a prescription, and it's called acyclovir. It's also called Zovirax, Z-O-V-I-R-A-X, acyclovir, A-C-Y-C, L-O-V-I-R, acyclovir. I keep the cream and I keep the pills in my cabinet, stocked at all times. And if I'm like the last round, and I'm talking about myself here because I don't have the shingles, but it's the same thing, same concept here. If I know that things aren't going to calm down, I will take one of those to just kind of keep that virus suppressed. Because here's the thing, you guys, when you get an outbreak of shingles or you get a sequence of fever blisters, or if someone who has herpes, I know a lot of people that actually do have that. I've helped people with that. I have clients with herpes of the genitals. If you get to a point where that is an ongoing thing, the stress that your body goes under is a lot worse than one tiny 400 milligram Zovirax or a acyclovir pill, okay? So that's a great topic. Another thing to bring up here is I know everybody's like antibiotics and anti-prescriptions, and I want everything natural. I used to be one of those people when I first started health coaching. I'm like, none of this stuff helped me. I'm going to do this. And then I started to have a shift because not one thing works for everybody. And I think that when we stress so much about synthetic things we're putting in our body, or eating the wrong thing, or not sleeping enough, or drinking too much, or that can actually cause more problems for us. There has to be either a 90-10 or an 80-20 rule in every area of our lives. And I feel like we need to make sure that our clients understand that's okay. Like, listen, you know what? If you're 80% there, the other 20%, if you fall off the wagon, you go out with friends, you have too many glasses of wine, or maybe you eat something that you don't know is gluten-free, but everyone else is eating, you're enjoying yourself. The joy of camaraderie and time with friends and the love that they're experiencing while they're eating that is 1,000 times more effective than one little piece of gluten that might get in their mouths and they freak out over. But, the thing is they're looking at us and they think many times that we're putting those solid rules in place and they should follow them. That is so much stress on somebody, you guys. So if you can even say to them, listen, if you are worried about shingles, if this is something that, you've got a history of maybe some, herpes or whatever, or you're going under significant stress and you're in your 80s and you're worried, talk to your doctor about maybe having an antiviral on hand, okay? speaking from personal experience of a friend that I have that had shingles, and when she went under a lot of stress, she's in her 30s. Oh my gosh, she got it all over her chest. It was absolutely miserable. And she got through it, but not even 6 months ago, she messaged us and said, I'm under a lot of stress and I'm getting that tingling feeling on my chest again, like I had before the lesions broke out. And I said, oh my God, call your doctor like right away. See if he can call you in some acyclovir, get ahead of it right away. Because if you can get ahead of it and you can ward it off, it's almost like that placebo, right? Okay, I took that. I'm gonna give my body the message that it's not allowed to go there and get full-blown shingles. It can be just as effective as taking, 1,600 milligrams of the acyclovir. So I'm really hoping that coaches are starting to relax a little bit about what they're telling their clients and how much stress they're putting on their clients about this stuff. So Regina, do you have other questions about that? I'm going to copy and paste this in. Conventional shingles treatments and shingles prevention. Some antivirals can cause kidney failure. Of course they can. I mean, they got to tell you that. But taking one pill every other day just kind of ward it off. I mean, my opinion is that would be a better thing. I don't know, but that's just me. All right, let me see. Dang, I missed the naked call. Yeah, we don't have any naked calls today, Stan. None of that happening. That taking the flu shot 5 in a row will increase the risk of getting shingles, Joan says. Yeah, and you know why I think that is? Because I think the flu shot lowers your immune system. And if your immune system is lower, boom, right? Okay, so let's talk a little bit, because we're going to ask, hold on, we got another question here. So there's the link to the University Health thing. And let me just make sure, there's nutrition is paramount for maintaining a well-functioning immune system, blah, 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 of course. Top home remedies, vitamin C, of course, immune system, zinc. And one thing about vitamin C, I'm a big fan of the Liposphere brand, of course. I also am a big fan of Quicksilver Scientific. Liposomal vitamin C can be absolutely amazing. It goes right into the cells, so I love that. But I also want to throw in here that I like buffered vitamin C when I'm in the middle of anything that needs like my serious attention for boosting my immune system. Buffered vitamin C crystals, I throw them in everything. And I was telling someone yesterday, they're like, well, can't you take too much and can't your body get used to it? No, you urinate out what you don't use with vitamin C, but that is one of my favorite things. I think we're probably all a little bit deficient in vitamin C. That's just my opinion. But let's talk a little bit about, hold on a moment. We're going to go into a question about Crohn's disease and all that stuff here. Hold on. Well, let's see. And then we'll go back to prostate cancer too in a moment, Regina, and the root cause and dental stuff. But hold on. Who asked the question? Karen, was it you? No, that's collaboration. Celiac. Okay, Donna asked about celiac. So I'm going to combine the two, celiac and Crohn's. Running into people with this issue is beyond my scope. And I don't see Donna on today, but I'm going to share the replay. She wants to understand it. Okay. So with anything, so you can replace celiac with Crohn's, with ulcerative colitis, with any digestive issue or whatever, or any condition really. We're starting with the same approach always. We're always looking at the 7 essentials, always. What are they doing with the basics? But when it comes to like celiac disease and Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis, these are irritable bowel diseases and so we have IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, and then we have irritable IBD, irritable bowel disease, and these fall under disease. There's a difference. We have syndrome and we have diseases. Okay, so I've had everything from one girl who had chronic, and I may have that backwards. I don't think I do. It's possible, but anyway, there's a difference between the two. I had a girl call me one time. She could not leave her house. She's like, I can't get out of the house. It's constant diarrhea every freaking morning. I cannot get out of my house. It's ruining everything for the last 6 months. What are you having for breakfast? Oatmeal and milk. Okay. All right. So first thought, gluten. Oh my gosh. Then she'd have to take it out of everything in her day. Dairy, easy thing to test, right? I said, why don't you consider using a milk alternative just for a week and see what happens? 3 days in, because first thing she said was she went to the doctor and the doctor told her, I think you have Crohn's disease. And she's like, you're right. Oh my gosh. And then another doctor said it's IBS. And I said, maybe you just aren't processing dairy. I don't know. 3 days later, no diarrhea. She was like kissing my feet. Oh my God, I love you. Sent me like a $200 gift card. It was one phone call, right? She was so excited. Okay. So the thing is that Again, starting with the basics. What are you having for breakfast? And that's causing you to have to be at home. She got immediate diarrhea from that. So I said, look at getting some lactose enzymes in lactase, right, to process the lactose, and take a break from it for a bit and give your body some reset time. Then we have the other side of the fence here, where the ulcerative colitis and the Crohn's girls that I've worked with, who, 5 days in the hospital, 2 seconds from getting dissection, begged her doctor to let her go home, was given, and this is where I was going with this conversation, was given, oh God, which one was it? Was it methotrexate? Was that the Crohn's methotrexate? No, that was for the girl with RA. Oh shoot, you guys. It starts with an M, I think. No, Humira. Humira starts with an H. So Humira, if you guys know anything about it, right? It is an immune system suppressor. Okay, so they gave her something to suppress her immune system. It's an injection she has to put in her leg. Oh my gosh, the pain. It was $1,000 a month for 2 shots, I think it was at the time. And it's increased since then. So here's the thing I want you guys to remember. When people come to us with immune system problems, they are more than likely going to a doctor that's going to give them immune system suppressants. Steroids, immune system shots, Humira, methotrexate, all of these drugs that are going to suppress the immune system. This makes me crazy. If there's ever anything I could like march on the steps for besides THC, because I'm a big believer in it, it would be talking about why are we suppressing the one thing that's supposed to be supporting the problem that we have. Makes me insane. Cheryl, you're nodding, right? Isn't that crazy? So then, then 5-6 months later, these people are starting to have problems like Wagner's disease, or, having easy bruising, or they're getting constant colds. And I've seen it happen. My ulcerative colitis girl came out of remission during a huge time of stress with her children. She did the Humira shots because she was desperate, because she was bleeding, bloody stool everywhere. And she's a vet, and she is a mobile vet, not near a bathroom that she could easily, access. So she started the shots. Colds, allergies, hospital for back pain. What is the bruising autoimmunity, you guys? What is it called? Is it Wagner's? No. Von Willebrand's. Why that just came into my head, I don't know why, but that's what it's called. And I said, does anybody in your family have von Willebrand's? Because she said, I'm bruising everywhere. She's like, oh, my mom has that. Von Willebrand's popped up because she suppressed her immune system. I said, all right, so how are we going to fix this? How can we go after this? So we had to go back to day one. We went back to her original plan: marshmallow root, aloe vera, bone broth, all of those things. And what happened? Things started to go back to normal. Okay. So my point is this, is that we're going to run into these people with celiac disease, with Crohn's, with all of these digestive issues. We need to educate them on what will happen when their doctor prescribes those things. We don't tell them not to use them. Okay. It took everything. I was like that zippered mouth emoji. Every time she talked to me, I'm like, oh shit. Oh, Carmen, don't say anything. I mean, because I was dying to say to her, you know what's coming if you use this, but I couldn't. It was a personal choice. And she's one of my best friends. So she came back, sure enough, and said, I need your help. I need to get reset. I'm here for you. So educating people on what could happen is going to be a really big part of the part that you play. Okay. Here's the conventional treatment for the problem. Here's some functional approaches and resources for the problem. You tell me what you and your doctor decide to do. Whether they go to the doctor or not is not your business and not your problem and not your decision to make, but your suggestion to make so that you cover your ass. Okay. So how do you work with them? Learn enough about it on both sides, conventionally and functionally. And we teach this at the Institute. So I don't know if you're in this or not. If you're in the school, Donna, I can't remember. But knowing about both sides of the problem someone has is important so that you can understand where they're coming from when they get home from their doctor, and you can provide them with some hope and ideas that they're not getting from their doctor. But there's no need to go and learn everything there is to know about celiac disease, right? I don't think so anyway. Okay. All right. Valtrex is another antiviral. Yes. Absolutely. You always have it on hand. Oh gosh. I cannot even, I'm just going to knock on wood again, because my life isn't going to calm down till June, and it freaks me out, especially with how many fever blisters I've had. I'm currently taking 1 200 milligram acyclovir 3 times a week just to keep the virus at bay. I'm loading up on lorcidin and cat's claw and lysine too, right? Karen, you're nodding because you've probably been down the road, right? Yeah, yeah, totally. Okay, all right. So with that said, let me scroll back up and go back to prostate cancer. What you've been told, what to do when you're told you've got it and how to prevent it. Okay, so not my area. I'm a woman. But I can tell you this, there has been some studies, and I've learned so much through my dad because, you know, he's in his 70s and he hired me 7, 8 years ago to help him and my mom with their health. And I'm still their health coach. And I read about how, let's start with the testing process. I learned that people who are getting tested every year for prostate cancer are actually increasing their chances of getting it. Have you guys heard about that? There's a test that's out there that actually, I don't want to say it activates the cells. Something's happening, and I'd have to find the test. And I know I posted about it in a training a couple years ago that I did for coaches. And I don't know if it's still accurate, but it is still something to be concerned about. That it's not always the best idea to get some sort of a test for it. And I can't remember what it is. You guys will have to let me do a little work and look for that. But when you're told you've got it, it's no different really than any other cancer. Except so for example, you know, you would eat or drink things that support the prostate. And I think, isn't saw palmetto one of the things that is supportive of the prostate? Does anybody know that? Okay. Yeah. So I would lean into some, suggesting things that are along that herbal, remedies, and also, obviously any other modalities, acupuncture, opening up channels and chakras in the, pelvic region and the genital region. You know, looking at Chinese medicine, that kind of thing. But I would also just be sharing that information that's basic for any kind of cancer. And you know how to do that. So, you know, and the guy that I'm dating, he cracks me up because he is one of those people like, the body is my temple. It can heal itself. Whoa, he's a vegetarian. Can you believe that? I'm dating a vegetarian. Oh, Lordy, Lordy. Yeah. Anyway. And he's like, you know, the minute somebody's diagnosed with anything, I'm like, go to Mexico. I'm like, I know. And he's kind of new to all of this stuff, but he's super smart and he dives in head first. So I would actually send them information literally on, you know, the place in Mexico and about the Gerson therapy, all of those things. But I would never do a food plan for someone with cancer. I would not do a meal plan. I would not write anything out for them. I would give them suggestions that like Chris Beats Cancer. He's an amazing resource, but I would just share information and just say, I've heard that these things can be beneficial and can help to support a healthy prostate. But anytime there's a cancer, breast cancer, I'd share information on iodine. A cancer it's anywhere near the eyes, lycopene. Like, just remember, like there's things out there that can target specific parts of the body that people say are supportive of it. That's the direction I would go with that. Other than that, all cancer, you know, fed by sugar, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you know the basics. You're smarter than I am about this stuff. Okay. So Regina went to a new dentist, gave you root cause to watch. Scary, scary, scary. Yes. Heart palpitations started over 50 years ago. Every cardio test your heart is fine. Yes. Yes. I know about metal and moisture. I also know that I have zirconia and ceramic implants in my mouth because I heard that titanium can actually create an electrical charge with mercury and amalgams and anything else you've got in your crowns, because your crowns are also lined with different metals as well. And I didn't want any of that stuff. So I spent $30,000 last year on implants for my mouth. Okay. So I have zirconia and all that. So yes. Yeah, it's scary, isn't it? I mean, it scares the crap out of me that that's what's happening. The main thing to know that, and I did interview, I think I shared Dr. Dannenberg, it's in the expert files. We did talk about a lot of this stuff in that interview. So if you want to know more about, you know, root canals and metals and amalgams and health from the mouth, I would look at the Dr. Dannenberg interview, because it's going to tell you more than I can tell you right now, going by memory. Also, Dr. Oh, help me, what's his name? The Dental Diet, what's his name? I met him at Mindshare. He's a hottie. He wrote, gosh, there are so many good looking men at Mindshare, you guys. Oh my gosh. He wrote a book called The Dental Diet, and I wish I could remember his last name, but you can Google it. Amazing book. I read that book too. And it's more preventative, but there's also a lot of great information in there, talking about treatments and things like that too. So one of the things I like to do is to flip things around. So before something's happened to me, I like to look at what treatments would that someone or I would need if something were to happen. So for example, before I got my implants. I went out and read all of the bad stuff that could happen if I got titanium. Then I looked at treatments that I would have had to have if I went with titanium, right? I like to look at all the stuff that like the worst case scenario, and then I backtrack it to what's the safest thing. I scare the shit out of myself sometimes just so I will spend the money and make the right decisions. Because sometimes, and this happens with our clients too, money makes decisions. Money makes bad decisions. I've had people get titanium because they think that's better than spending an additional $3,000-$4,000 a tooth to get the right thing. And then down the road, sure enough, major health problems, titanium in their mouth, bad idea. Okay. I still am missing a tooth. Back in the bottom, missing, gone. Haven't had a tooth there for years because I had more urgent things I had to have done. I had a dentist break 5 of my teeth many years ago. That's how I ended up in this situation. But my point is that I needed to fix these and this and these before this one. I will go without teeth before I will put something. Hold on. I got to scream at my dogs. You guys, give me a second. It's a mail lady. Hold on. Hang on, she's driving away. Anyway, so I will absolutely do that, you guys, before I will do the wrong thing and put something in my body that doesn't belong there. Hey, Lucky, she's gone, honey. She's gone. She didn't bring you any snacks. He's so sweet. Okay. And so with that said, and I'll share something here too that I shared on a call yesterday, and I know we're recording and then this is going to go out and all that, but there's hardly anybody on. So I have to have knee surgery next week. Nobody knows this except the people that were on my team call yesterday and my mama and my friends and my boyfriend. So this is crazy. This is what happened. And I'm telling you this because I want to tell you, again, same thing I've done is gone backwards. I took 6 weeks off of exercise because of stress. I believe taking stress away from areas when we're under stress in other areas is important. And I stood up wrong, twisted my leg around on Saturday and ripped my meniscus clear off. Felt the pop, heard the pop. And I was like, I think I just ripped my meniscus. Walked down to the car, went to an after hours emergency, said, I think I ripped my meniscus. She said, yeah, I think you did. Went to my orthopedic on Monday, got an MRI, confirmed it's just shredded and that the cartilage in my knee looks basically like Swiss cheese. Now, y'all keep in mind, I was a major CrossFitter, runner. I put my body through it, so I'm not surprised that this happened. It was just the cup overflowed, okay? So with that said, before I even made a decision to have the surgery, I went out and looked at all the conventional treatments, all the alternative treatments, everything I could possibly do to avoid surgery, and it's not possible. But I also learned about some other things that could prevent it or could have prevented it, and things that I will be sharing with clients that are at my age, over 40. He says, we see knees like this all the time in people over 40 that stay active. And he even told me, he said, your alternative, be sedentary, get overweight, have a heart attack, move your body and have wear and tear in your joints and have something like this happen. It's like you make the decision, So when we're working with our clients and we have people that, are very active or they have had something, they're like, oh, I'm supposed to be having surgery. Share that information, that worst case scenario, share that functional stuff. Combine those things to help them make good decisions before they head into a surgery, before they head into a dental procedure, before they head into anything that could alter their body later on, right? So the reason I decided to have surgery is because they're not putting anything in there. All they're going to do is go clean out the cartilage, clean it up nice, and no screws, no metals, nothing's going in my knee, because that was one of the first things that came to mind going back to the dental, right? What's going to go in your body that's going to cause problems later? And that is one of the responsibilities I feel to every client and friend that's going to go and have something like this done is, what can I share with them that can help them feel good about their decision later on after the decision has been made? Does that make sense, you guys? And I keep telling God, you know what? I can learn this stuff without experience. Hello. But I guess he keeps putting me through it so that I can learn it and share it. So again, with dental procedures, watch the video, but also when you're watching it, apply it to other things that you're learning about to share with your clients too, like surgeries, like mesh for hernias, like breast implants. I have friends that feel like it's more important to have nice looking breasts and they're putting them in, and that breast, like Brenda, you guys, who shared her experience with us in the mentorship group, Brenda Pacheco. Oh my gosh. I mean, she looks amazing. She got her implants taken out. I don't know if you guys have seen her story on the mastermind page. She's a different person from having those things taken out. Her health is completely changed, and she sent me videos and shared it with me. I feel it's my responsibility before somebody goes under the knife to get implants put in that I share information about breast implant disease and sickness, right? So anyway, that went way off teeth into other areas of the body, but it applies to everything we do. Learn about it before you do it. Share the information. Give people options. That's your only responsibility. Okay. All right. Let's see here. And if you have any more questions about any of that, let me know. Yeah. Oh, Regina, you had to have titanium put in your knee. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But you know what? Do you have problems from it? You do? Okay. Unmute yourself for a second, because I want to hear, because my mom had to have her knee worked on recently. She had stem cells done about a month and a half ago. What's the problem?
I'm feeling, it still hurts at night and it feels stiff. The doctor told me that it's placed in there right, but it just doesn't feel good. And one of the doctors that I spoke to over at the Great Plains Lab workshop, I asked him about having that metal in my body and how it would affect it. And he says, well, and he kind of like tried not to alarm me, but then he said, he says, I'm not totally against doing all those things. He said, because he's going to have that knee replacement. But now I'm wondering, what can I do to make sure that none of it really settles in my body? If there's anything that can help it to, that I can eliminate as much as possible now that it's there. But I needed it to walk because I couldn't even walk.
Yeah, hold on, I'm gonna look something up. So you're wondering, how can I isolate the titanium to the knee really and not go through the body kind of, because now it's there, right?
Yes.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me look at something here. Okay. So one thing I want to just make a mention of, you guys, is, and this is for a lot of different things, because I looked into stem cells, because if they could have repaired the meniscus, or it could have repaired itself, which is possible, I would have been doing stem cell injections, hands down, and plasma replacement, plasma rich something, PRP. I know it is PRP, before I would do any kind of surgery with it, but I don't have a choice and I'm not having anything put in. But hold on a moment here. See, I'm going to put in another word here and see if I can find a resource for you. Yeah, so if the guy at Great Plains hasn't heard about stem cells and PRP, then he needs to. I would be surprised, because I'm sure I think they were actually at Mindshare one year, and we've got stem cell replacement people that do that. All right, risk factors. Okay, total replacement knee. What have you found so far? Anything? See, I like going to Harvard. I like going to Harvard's educational site sometimes too, because they do have a lot of good information. Cartilage implants. Surgical volume, okay. So let me ask you this. Did they give you any other alternatives to titanium?
No.
Yeah. God, unfortunately, I don't even think they're there, New customized knee surgery. I don't know. Go ahead.
And I've had some friends that have had the stem cell.
Uh-huh.
And so my question about that is, how long does it last?
Anywhere from 5 to 10 years.
5 to 10 years. So that's almost the same as the replacement.
Yes. Yeah, my mom, I'm telling you, my mom wasn't able to walk. Like the last time I went to see her, before she got the stem cell stuff, she was hanging on to chairs. Like hanging on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I was doing that too.
Yeah.
But it's costing like about $7,000.
She paid $5,000 for both knees and her wrist.
$5,000 for both knees?
Yeah, for both knees and her wrist. Yes.
That's great. That's great. I'm hearing $7,000 for one knee.
Oh my Lord, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So cartilage restoration, is that really an alternative? So let me see here. Um, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot out there. I mean, there's nothing out there, as a matter of fact. I mean, you had to do what you had to do. Let's just say that. And, yeah. And, again, it's just like if, if somebody loses all their teeth, you're going to have to do something. You're going to you're going to get dentures, or you're going to learn to chew with your gums. I mean, you can't beat yourself up about it. But what I would say, yeah, and Cheryl's saying here, binders, fulvic and humic acid, zeolite. So what you could do to reduce the damage is absolutely whatever you can take things that can remove the harmful metal from your blood and just make that a lifelong kind of lifestyle for yourself. The other thing also is to make sure everything that's around that knee is strong and functioning properly with good oxygen flow. Yeah. But as far as like stem cell replacement is concerned, that's the new way. That's the direction we're going. In fact, 6 years ago, we asked the doctor, because my husband at the time, ex-husband, I get to say that now. My husband went in. Yeah, yay. Shoot, party time for that. He went in to get his knee looked at, and they were going to do like some crazy repair. And they went in, they said, you don't have any cartilage left. Like there's nothing left here. And I was like, hey, what about the stem cells? Well, we're not there yet. Well, guess where we are now? We're there. We're there. People are doing it. The studies have been done. So we can't ever discount what's coming our way with this stuff. Somebody says, oh, well, no, you can't regrow teeth. That's ridiculous. Guess what? I bet you in 10 years, people are going to be able to regrow teeth or start the process, So when I brought up stem cells that long ago, it was laughed at, kind of like, oh, no. Well, never discount the minds of the health coaches, right? Because we're staying on front end of things and we're watching things. So, if you ever get in that situation again where you got to have something else done, at least now it's going to take time. And she, bless my mom's heart, she called me, she was crying. She was like, she was just happy tears. Like, I'm just so glad I'm going to get some relief. And she's back at boot camp. And her injection started 7 weeks ago, I think. 8 weeks ago, maybe. Yeah, she's back. She has her days, but she's like, it's nothing like it was. She's had trigger finger and thumb problems and wrist problems for, I can't even tell you how long. She had such a flare up, she ended up in the hospital. She's had stem cell injections and everything's going back to normal. It's crazy. So anyway, yeah, I wish you'd known about it before, but you didn't. And so I wish I'd known about the dentist who fractured my teeth. I'd still have my original teeth, but I don't.
Yeah.
We can't live in the past. So, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So Sherry, how about some business building, opt-in ideas, list building, reach new people online, practice better platforms, tips. Okay. I don't have practice better platform tips except for to get it. Just get it. Because everybody that's gotten it is saying, oh my God, this has saved my business. It saved my time. It saved everything. And you can watch tutorials on there for practice better. The other business building, there's, so opt-in ideas, list building, reaching new people online. I did a whole training, how to find your next 2 to 3 clients as soon as possible. So Sherry, I just want to remind you, if you go out to ClickFunnels and you log in, there's an entire world of business building documents and things out there for you. Please go out there and see what I've got. I've trained on all of this. Every single topic here I have trained on. The only thing I can say about opt-in ideas is one of the best ways to get people to opt in is to have a video that I'm going to show it to you. Let me just show you what we're doing. Hold on a second. And my cursor, I always lose my cursor when I have a dual monitor. That's the one thing that I forget where I stick it. So give me a second here and I'm going to share kind of what is a good idea. Let me see here. Is this it? Let me see. Is it business? No, institute, business, coaching. Hang on. No, not home goods. And I haven't even been shopping lately. Why did that pop up? Institute. Okay. So a video at the front end of on your first page. So on your home page, I'm going to show you what it looks like in a minute. That gets people's attention and gives them an action step. So let me drag this over and then I'll share it. I'll grab and drag. You guys I am not tech savvy. Like I'm not stupid, but I'm not super tech savvy. So when I first got my dual monitor, I had hired somebody to help me launch a program. I paid her almost $7,000 to help me do that. And when I got it, I was like, I can't find my cursor. I had to call her and ask her where my cursor was. It was on the other screen. All I had to do was wiggle my mouse around. So that, talk about feeling stupid. She's like, have you checked your other monitor? I'm like, there it is. All right. So here's the video. So here's my business page for the Business Building Accelerator. All of this is already in your stuff, you guys. So don't ask me if you need it. You've already got it. We're just building a little program for people who don't want to get, they don't want to go to the school because it's too much, or we don't have the doors open for the mentorship group. So there's a video of me. Hold on. And my dog. And
Hi, I'm Carmen Hunter.
and so it's me talking.
I'm the founder of the Institute for Functional Health.
Blah, 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 blah.
Mentored 1,000
I don't know why she has that button right in front of my face. We need to fix that. But anyway, it's me talking, and it's me explaining what's in this program, okay? So it's me basically saying, you know, if you don't have what you need, blah, 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 action step, press this button, okay? The best way to get people to opt in is to do a quick 5-minute, 30-second, 60-second, hey, it's Carmen here. You know, I've got this program, or I've got this free e-guide. You guys, right over there, if you just press that button right over there, it's going to take you to that free book. Opt-ins that are just a pop-up with an action step to get the guide, that's fine. But most of the time when you have a video there, people are going to be more apt to like click and see what you have to say, then take action, okay? So the only thing I really have to say about the business building part is this. Please go to ClickFunnels and see what's there. And then an opt-in a good idea for an opt-in would be doing something like that, okay? But spend some time in the Health Coach Mentorship trainings. I do these trainings and give them to you guys for free. It's part of your membership. There's nothing really else for me to say about that. Okay, here are my questions, Chris. Okay, Catherine had to get off, but I want to answer this because she'll probably revisit. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, she's gone. Okay, do you have any samples of proposals you wrote when you were looking to collaborate with a practitioner? The first step, no, I don't have any proposals. Actually, I did have one, but I think it's on my old computer on a USB port or something. The first thing at this point, if I were to try and go work with a practitioner, is I would try to get in and just do a meeting with them. I would just try to sit down and get into a more intimate conversation before I would just bring a proposal. Getting on someone's schedule is hard enough, okay? So I would walk in with probably my little postcards that I love, and I would say, my name is so-and-so. I need to speak to the decision maker. What is a good time for me to give a call back? Or, and I'm not a fan of leaving just my name and number. Please have them call me. No, that's just another job for somebody to have to do, right? It's just another thing on a to-do list. If I want to get in with a practitioner, I'm going to be the person that takes the steps and makes it happen. I'm going to be the person that says, I'm interested in having a conversation with Dr. Smith. I understand he's your decision maker. What would be a good time for me to follow up? Or maybe you can put me on his appointment book. Get on the books, or get a good time to call back, or get an appointment to have a conversation. The proposal doesn't come until you know that they're even interested in working with you. So that's the first part of that. Best tips and strategies for revenue sharing if you partner with a health coach to do, say, a series or a series of talks. Oh, okay. So if you're going to partner with someone, I'll use me and Michelle McGlade as a good example, because she and I started working together like this, started doing talks for you guys, started kind of collaborating here and there. And then I hired her straight up as my business coach after we've known each other for quite a few years now. But when we first got together, you know, she had her sales page and I had my sales page. So what you can do if you're going to do like a webinar, say you're going to do a webinar with somebody, and it's going to lead to like a pitch or a program that each of you is running. So you can each have, one person could set it up in Zoom, and one person can collect the emails and take the information and have the link, and then export the CSV report with all the emails so that person can build their list with that list. Or you can each have a way for people to sign up, and then one person provides the link, okay? Or you share the link with somebody else. That's another way to do it. As far as getting revenue, you can have separate landing pages, and the landing page, as we know, is a sales page that people purchase from. Or one person can be responsible for that landing page that then sends out or pays that person from whatever the money is that they make. It's by sending like a PayPal affiliate payout or a collaboration payout, something like that. I'm sure there's other more progressive ways to do that. If you're just getting started with this, I don't sign up or get tight with anybody on any revenue sharing until I know if we're able to jive together, okay? And if we share the same values, and if we share the same ideas. And I've seen way too many health coaches get excited about starting up a business with another health coach, and they hate each other now. Over and over, I've seen this happen. And, you know, to Michelle's credit, which I give her credit for so many things, but I reached out to her to help me launch a program in 2015 or 2014. I don't remember when. I wanted her to affiliate for me. And she was like, and if you know Michelle, she's like she's very reserved. She's like, I'd really like to have a conversation about this first to see if this is something that we can connect with. To her credit, she wanted to have a conversation. We had a conversation. We were like, we were like fresh off the press, best friends, soul sisters. We still treaded lightly into the relationship we had. Spend some time with people before you do something like this. I cannot stress that enough. And remember, and set the tone. She came down and visited with me and stayed with me and everything. Set the tone for it. Say friends first, because if you develop a friendship with someone that you really connect with, that's more important than any business partnership. So we've always said that. Even when we roomed together at Mindshare and we got into a little bit of an argument, she was like, I'm mad at you. She like woke me up. I'm mad at you. And I got up and I said, if you're mad at me, you can tell me that when I'm up. So, but we managed to have the friendship first and the business comes next. Okay. So, with that said, 6 months minimum of doing some things where you keep your revenue separate and your pages separate and all of that, then have a conversation about working together and having a contract together. It's very important. Okay. We have a contract. She and I have a contract together, but we're friends first. Okay. With that said, group coaching. I want to move into group coaching, feel stuck, how to get there. Training is in the curriculum. They're in the Health Coach Mentorship and Mastery. There's group coaching training in there, how to do a group coaching program. You've got templates for food and you've got templates for sleep. And then she says, I have an email list of 1,600. She wants to know how to get there with marketing. I also have some tips on that in the mentorship stuff too. A low response list. Hold on. Don't have large Facebook or Instagram following either. Okay. I'm going to share a secret with you. Before I launched my first health coach program, I think in 2015 or 14, I don't remember when. I think I had 500 people on my list. That's it. 500, little tiny. The next year, maybe 1,000. The next year, maybe 1,500. We have 11,000 people on our list now. So it's a process of building. I still launched a $35,000 program with a list of 1,000 people. $35,000 program, you guys. I brought in sales of $35,000 with 1,000 people on my list. So the list is important. Yes, you need to build it as time goes on. But what you're looking for when you're doing this kind of thing is the people that are ready, that are warm or hot. So when we talk about that, we've got cold people who don't know who we are, and they're like, oh, that looks interesting. I think I'll opt in to see who this person is. Then we've got the people who are starting to know, like, and trust us. They're like, oh, she's live again. Cheryl's live again. Oh, I'm starting to really like her. She's sharing some great information. Then you've got your warm to hot, who's like, oh my God, I watch everything she does. She's got an ebook that's $9.99, or she's got a program that's $2.97. I'm buying it, period. Okay. So you want people to be warm to hot. So how you do that, you can master the marketing all day long, but if you don't master the relationship, the marketing doesn't mean shit. It just doesn't. Master the relationship, then the marketing part. So be wherever people know that you are. I'm in Facebook Live all the time. I've had people say, good Lord, are you ever not live? Well, yes, when I'm busy, I'm not live, but that's where I live and that's where people know to find me. Find your place that you want to live and show up there. Do you have to stay there if it doesn't become your place? No, you don't have to stay there. But if you decide that's not where you want to be, have another house like Instagram or Pinterest or YouTube that you're moving to soon and test the waters there. All right, so moving on, she says, if I were able to master the marketing, you mean when I'm able to master the marketing? What are the legalities around group coaching online and in person? Do they have to sign a contract, agreement, waiver? Yes, absolutely. Anytime you work with someone where you're saying apple cider vinegar is good for digestion in a group where you've taken money, you need a disclaimer. So what I would do here, if you're doing an online group, when you send out the registration before they can participate, have the form attached. Practice Better has an ability for this. You can do this in Eventbrite where you sign a document, but they're going to start coming back to you individually. You're just going to have to check the list that they read and agreed. Or you can say, by purchasing this program, you understand that you will be participating in a group program where other people are going to hear your stuff, blah, 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 blah. I don't have one of those because I'm not a lawyer. So you can either make your own and wing it like I did for the first probably 3 or 4 years of my coaching business. I made my own, and that's kind of how my disclaimer came to be. I actually had it looked at by an attorney, and he was like, basically, people, I mean, this is ridiculous. People would be asking for your child if this is so thorough. So I used it for years, but I want you guys to, and I'm saying this as a disclaimer, get an attorney to give you what you need, but make your own if you want to. Okay. That's me saying, hire an attorney, but if you feel comfortable, okay? Because I did it. So I can't say you have to have an attorney because I didn't have one for the first couple of years. So that would be hypocritical, and I don't want to be that way. So you've got Sam Vanderwilden who sells done for you documents that I trust. I think she's a little bit more affordable right now than Lisa Fraley. And I think she does offer the group coaching disclaimers, and I know she does all the other ones too. And I actually just posted a link in the mentorship group the other day and tagged Maria Claps. So you can put Maria's name in the search box, and that link for Sam will pop up. But, you know, you don't have to buy all the agreements, waivers, and liabilities unless you're going to do all the things. If you're just going to do one-on-ones, just buy the client agreements and disclaimers for one-on-ones. If you know you're only going to do groups, just do groups. Don't purchase everything that you don't need, okay? I'm all about keeping it simple and only getting what you need. Okay. Is that it? I think that's it. That's all the questions. Ha! Boy, do I talk fast, don't I? Woo, I rattle on and on. Okay, do you guys have anything else that you need while we're on? Any other questions or any other needs at all? Anything you wanted to cover? I'm going to be doing these more often, especially once I get settled and I'm like absolutely done. Well, the divorce is done. Let's see, the taxes are done. The business changes are done. All I got to do is get my kid out of school, not hating me because I'm moving him in high school, get moved, and that'll be done. I'm thinking like the month of June and July is going to be where I set the schedule, and once a week we'll do these kinds of calls because I think they're fun. I love this organic kind of back and forthness, right? Yeah. Hey, Joan, while you're on, are you coming to class today at 12:30? Or have you done your time? Go ahead and unmute yourself. I can't hear you. You're talking, but I can't hear you. I think you're muted.
I guess I didn't have that on my calendar.
It's Wednesday, 12:30 is our normal time. But I want to know how are you doing with your new job?
It's okay. Yeah, it's all right. It's tiring because I'm on my feet all the time.
Okay.
It's demanding, but it's fine. But it's really sapped my energy, and so the coaching is on the back burner.
Yeah, I know. We talked about that for sure. Yeah. Is it giving you the opportunities you wanted?
Yeah, so it's enjoyable enough. It's not quite enough hours as I wanted, but I have a lot of flexibility, you know, for when I want time off. So yeah, it's probably as good as it can get.
Okay. Well, that's better than terrible.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And how's the thyroid? Good? Better?
You know, it was better for a while, but I actually, the last few days I'm back to where I was like after the surgery. And I will tell you that I get so tired of having such a tight diet sometimes. So I had an opportunity to enjoy some flour products, and I wonder if that wasn't a trigger for me.
When was it?
Well, I had a homemade apple cake, and then I'd had some bread. And I think maybe it didn't agree with me, and I'm wondering if that's what kicked me off.
Okay, what day did you have it?
That was Saturday. Let's see. Saturday.
Okay, and when did you start feeling?
Yeah, about Sunday.
Okay, so there's your 3-day window. You know, your 72-hour window. Whenever we have food that we're not quite sure maybe might have caused a problem, or I don't know, there's that 72-hour window from the time we ingest. And if you pass the 72-hour window, I even like to say 80 because I like an extra buffer on everything I do. If you can make it without any problems within that window, then it probably didn't bother you. But if you start symptomatic, if you start with symptoms within that window, it's probably what you ate. Yeah. Do you have any charcoal at home you can kind of flush it out? Maybe do something like
yeah, I do.
I would if it were me, and I don't get constipated from charcoal. A lot of people do, but I'd be charcoal and magnesium citrating it until I started to feel a little bit more normal, start flushing that stuff out. Yeah. And also there's a product, do you take anything like a gluten enzyme by any chance?
I don't.
Okay. I keep that on hand, especially when I'm traveling. Gosh, I can't remember last time I knowingly put gluten in my mouth, but boy, do I ever, like, if I'm at a taco truck and I'm downtown somewhere where someone says you have to have that taco, if it's a corn taco or I'll skip the taco, but I don't know what they cooked it in, I'm eating the taco, but I have the gluten pills with me. So yeah, but that's what I would do. And that will probably move it through and you'll start to feel back to normal again.
Thank you.
But, ooh, that sounds good. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. Oh, yum, apple pie, yum.
It was wonderful.
Yeah. There's this, it's funny because we'll wrap up here in a second so I can go grab a bite and then get started for class. But like I said, the guy that I'm dating is a vegetarian, and he makes this breakfast taco. And I've duplicated it completely gluten-free. But he made it at his house one time, and like my mouth is watering right now because it's so freaking good. Anyway, so we were at his house, and it was probably, we've been dating probably 7 or 8 weeks, and I was visiting in Knoxville, and he was making one, and he gets the flour tortillas out, and he's like, ooh, you get to eat first, because he cooks for me. I mean, he's just an amazing cook, and he's just great. And I go, I can't have that. And he goes, you can't have this? I'm like, it's a flour tortilla. And he goes like, oh, right. So, and he's like, oh, it's going to ruin breakfast. I said, no, just like layer some avocado on the bottom, put some cilantro on there and just plop the little taco thing on top of it. I'll eat it like that. So now, like when he comes here, he uses my cassava tortillas. He uses my gluten-free tortillas and all that. But he said, I never realized, like, this really isn't that hard. It's really not that hard. I think that people don't realize how many alternatives we have, right? You guys, like, back when I went gluten-free, oh my Lord, the bread was like eating like a piece of paper. It was terrible. Do you remember that? Has anybody been gluten-free for a really long time? Yeah. And you're like, ooh, I can make French toast. And then you've got 4 pieces out of 1 piece of bread and you're trying to piece it together with the egg. And it was miserable. But now with all the alternatives around, like, I mean, even apple pie alternatives that are gluten-free, right? Oh, I like pastries and bakeries and stuff like baked stuff and bread and all that. But to me, it's just, I don't know, it's not worth it, to feel like you feel right now. And I know. Did you have ice cream on it? Can you at least share your experience?
It was actually a birthday cake, and it was, but it was fresh apple cake with nuts and some other stuff in it, and no icing. So there was no icing, no ice cream. No, it was just the plain cake.
Oh my God. So good.
It was wonderful.
Let's all take a moment. Okay, that's good. All right. Well, I hope you feel better soon. Okay, I'm glad we got to do this today. And you guys keep your eyes on events, and I'll throw them in there. We can do this. We'll start doing this on the regular. And as always, if you need me to speak to anything, put it in the Facebook page and tag me, and I'll do lives and I'll answer in there. We don't have to wait for these calls to get some good in-depth conversations going. I'm happy to do this anytime. Hop in live. That's what they're for. Okay. All right. Well, I will, if you're a student, I'll see you at 12:30. If you're not, have a great rest of the week, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for joining in. Bye.